Hey guys, we're here at Wing Daddies on Zeco in El Paso, Texas. We're about to go through start to finish how to filter using the Zeco oil filtration machine and teach them how to manage it from start to finish. So all you employees that are coming on at Wing Daddies, you're going to see this video, and if you have any questions after watching the video, I don't know what to do for you because I'm going to spell it out A to Z how to do it. All right, so first thing we're going to do is shut off the fryer, turn it to the off position. Okay, then we're going to install our pipe, our Z pipe, and make sure that our shroud is all the way down into the basket. If you don't, your store doesn't have a Z pipe and you just got a straight pipe, then you just got a straight pipe. But we're going to try to get you all Z pipes. Okay, okay guys, what we're going to do is we're going to open up this pad pan. I'm going to show you there's no filter in here. Okay, the first time that we do the wing fryers only, you want to do it without a filter in the pad pan. Okay, so you're basically doing it with just the 233 micron screen and the 300 micron basket. All right, now this is squeaky clean and the tank is squeaky clean, so you want to do like this right on that shelf, get a little bit of oil and lubricate it. Okay, all right, so now that we got that O-ring lubed, we can go ahead and put it inside the tank, give it a nice little soft push until you feel a little pop. When you feel it go, you know it's seated in there properly. And another thing that I do, I keep a dry rag hanging over the machine always when I'm filtering, so I can wipe stuff off that gets greasy while I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm going to push this up here. We're going to put the basket in here, push it forward, turn this down. Now when I open this ball valve, you're going to see that it does not it won't splatter anywhere. Okay, but you want to lock these wheels down so that in the instance, like, hey, you're about to be on camera, what's your name?
Ivan.
Ivan, another Ivan. That's 5 Ivans today for me. If Ivan happens to be breading something while you're filtering and he bumps the machine, it's not going to spin it out of the way and get oil everywhere if you lock the wheels down. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, because we don't have a filter in it, we don't have to first suck oil out to get oil on the filter. I'll show you that when we get to the filter pan. So all I'm going to do is take the wand, open this ball valve slowly at first, and remember, the thermostat is in the off position. Always make sure it's in the off position before you start draining. Otherwise you'll get smoking and fire and it's no bueno. Did I say that right? Yeah. Okay, when you push this switch away from you or to the right as you're looking at it, is oil out. Okay? If you want to suck oil back flush, turn it to the middle in the off position, wait till you hear it click, and then you can go backwards. Okay? When you want to switch directions again, put it to the middle, hear it click, and then you can switch it back to the other direction. So, first thing we're going to do is start to flush all this debris out. You can come on in here and take a look. And it's always smart to hold this nozzle at an angle up against the metal to wash all this debris out. You do not want to do this. See what I'm doing here on the video? You see that? You don't want to do that. It splatters everywhere, and the worst case scenario is it hits something that makes it shoot onto the heat coming out of here and you start a fire. You don't want to do that. So keep it up against the metal. Get all this stuff rinsed. Do you guys have a green pad? Green scrub pad? See how I'm using the end of this wand to kind of break up the stuff stuck on the bottom. Okay. Also, you can use this wand to go down the actual hole to free up clogs inside that ball valve. You don't have to use the rod, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna leave that sitting there, let it filter. Where's that spatula I had? To show you here is sometimes it gets so much debris and fine debris that it'll clog this 300 micron screen. Only use a rubber spatula. Don't use metal. And you just run it down the sides a little bit and you can see that's draining. See how it was full and now it's not? It's because it's not being allowed to drain because there's so much fine debris that it's clogging the basket, okay? So now that we've got that draining well, I'm gonna wipe off my tool so it doesn't make anything else dirty and set it right here. Don't want to set dirty stuff on there. Why? Because then you got to clean that too. All right, I'm trying to make it easy on you guys. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is take my green pad. I'm gonna fold it twice, okay? Like that. I'm gonna grab it like that. Now I can bend it over and use this to scrub instead of getting my hands in there and getting my gloves all oily and all messy. All right, so this is all you gotta do. All right, move it over to this side, scrub this other side. All right, always get the face. Everybody forgets about the face of the fryer, okay? It holds a lot of garbage. All right, hit these elements. Move it back to the other side. All right, now we're ready to rinse. I recommend having matching gloves so you can have gloves on both hands. Just a personal preference, I think, because touching this blue handle with just a plastic glove was very warm. Remember, rinse the face too. Leave it in there. We're gonna close this ball valve, let it fill up. Swap the pad pans, microfilter it, and we're done. Okay, so we're hitting a situation now where we don't even have the pad paper in there, the filter paper in there, and we're already starting to get a little bit of a sputtering in the oil. That happens because the 233 micron screen that protects the paper filter is already getting blinded because of the amount of bone marrow in there. So all we do is take our rubber spatula and rub it over that screen to move the debris away so that it can pass through it. That is an amazing amount of bone marrow in there to already be clogging that screen without a paper filter in it.
Tony, if they're doing it twice a day, it should.
Yeah, no. If you're doing it the way I'm showing you twice a day, you'll never get that much buildup of marrow in there. Now, all right, another thing that I want to show you, we're going to turn this off. Let it click. We're going to take the wand out of here. Let it drain a little bit. Turn it upside down, grab your rag, wipe it off. Now we're going to turn it back in the out position. Let it filter on itself. What that's going to do is distribute the oil into the back of the machine and make it flow down to the pan, so it doesn't build up in the back and you've got all that cleaning to do back there. So this is designed so that if there's a plate in there that shoots the oil to the back of the machine to wash that back deal off, okay? And that'll shoot it down into the pan, all right? We're gonna let that go for a little bit. Turn it off, let it drain. We're gonna let it drain for a few seconds. Otherwise, when you pick it up, you're just gonna make a mess getting oil everywhere. All right. Now we're doing pretty good on debris here. We can get the last of it out when we put the other pad pan in. But I'm gonna grab this now. Flip it over. Turn it to the on position. Pump the rest of this oil out. All right, so we've got this all emptied out of here. We put it in the off position. We're gonna turn it upside down again. Wipe this off and put it away in such a way that we don't make a great big mess. Why? Because then you have to clean it up later. All right, I'm gonna back this machine up just a hair. We're gonna take this pad pan out and put it in here for the time being. All right, now we're going to open this pad pan up. Throw a filter in here. Put it inside and do the same thing. Just give it a gentle nudge to lock it inside that hole. All right? Now we already know that we got the big particles out of here with the basket. So the second spin through this, we don't need to have the basket in here because there's nothing bigger than that going to be in the oil anyway. Okay? So we're going to turn this back to the down position, let it slide down. Sorry, Ivan, I'm all up in your Cheerios. All right. Where did my tongs go, though?
Wait.
Ivan's stealing my stuff. All right. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. Turn it to the on position. And look, even though we filtered it, I want you to see this. See the debris on top of the element covers? We already had this all out of here, but that is how fine a debris that is. Everything in here is smaller than 233 microns that made it back into this fryer. Now you're gonna see what happens when we filter it out with the paper. All right, you see this tube right here? That's your thermos pile. That is what controls the heat inside your fryer, or tells the thermostat that you need more heat, okay? You want to spend time around that because stuff likes to accumulate around those wires and those tubes. So just make sure that you get it really good around there. Now we can leave it sit there, close the ball valve, we're ready to refill it, and then we're done. With the filtration side of this anyway. We're about to show you how to keep it clean after you're done filtering. All right, hey, we're just about at the point where we're done filling this up, and you're gonna find that the machine kind of rocks back and forth naturally, okay? So what I like to do is put my foot in front of the wheel and just tip it forward a little bit so that all that oil goes to the front, and we make sure that we get as much out of there as we can before moving on to the next fryer, or if we're going to be done for the night, whichever's coming first. If we're disposing of the oil, and pumping it in, show them where that is on the camera, and we're disposing of the oil into that container, you want to do the same thing, especially if you're throwing it away. You want to tip the machine forward to try to pump out as much oil as you possibly can, okay? Come on in here and show them what I'm talking about. See how the oil's sitting there kind of flat? Watch what happens when I tilt it. It all runs to the front. Another trick you can do, can I have one of those shallow rectangular pans back there? Just take a pan like this. Then you're not holding it the whole time. It's definitely going to go to the front. Now, take a look in here. You can see how there's no more standing oil, but I'm still going to scrape it to try to get as much of that in there as we can. All right? All right, we've pumped out as much as we can pump out. We're going to put it in the off position. I'm going to repeat the same process that I've done multiple times already. I'm going to let it drain a little bit. We're going to turn this puppy upside down. Wipe the handle clean. Wipe the pipe clean. We're going to put it away without spilling a drop on anything. Okay? So now we're going to undo our pipe. And we're ready to fry food inside that fryer. I hope you enjoyed our class today. You're going to really enjoy the next one because we get to get dirty cleaning this damn thing. All right? Tune in soon. All right, I'm going to show you guys how to store the cord. All right? Just grab your rag that you have with you at all times, and you're going to wrap up the cord using the rag. Why? Because if you keep the oil off this cord, it'll last you forever. If you get oil on the cord and it doesn't get cleaned off, it'll start cracking and it's going to start falling apart. Pretty easy, right? Thanks. All right, guys, now we're going to show you how to dispose of all the stuff that you pulled out of the fryer while filtering. This is the dry shake that ended up in the basket, okay? We're just going to turn this over like that and give it a tap. All right? Like maybe you would pat the bottom of a newborn baby to get it crying the first time, all right? You are not doing this. Whack-a-ma, whack-a-ma. All right, why? Because you beat the crap out of this and it ends up looking all bent up like this, okay? Just a little tap. We're gonna get all that stuff out of there with the spray nozzle, okay? So that'll be next. I recommend having a pan like this in front of the machine when you take this out of here. Reach down, grab it, pull it out, put it inside of here, okay? Now shoot the oil, shoot inside there. You see how thin of the oil is inside there? When you get done, it should never be any thicker than this. Just enough to go between the bottom of the pan and the bottom of the tank. That thin, thin, thin layer. If there's more than that, then you obviously had a date and had to get out of here sooner because you didn't let enough pump out in the last fryer. Okay? So, fryer pump out good, date's bad. All right. Your people are gonna watch this video and go, who's this crazy guy? I don't care as long as they're watching the video.
Yeah.
All right. So now, we pulled that out. This is why this is the #1 machine on the planet. Zoom into this peanut butter beauty. Check this out. This all came out of the oil. If you don't get this every time you filter, you're doing something wrong. That means there's bypass, which means the nipple probably isn't all the way into the hole, or you didn't strain it properly prior to putting the pad pan in that has the actual paper filter, okay? And this isn't that your particular restaurant is grosser than any other. Every restaurant that does wings, filter paper looks like this, okay, when you filter properly. All right? So we're going to continue getting to the point where we're ready to take this out. I'm going to use these tongs, and I want you to zoom in here so they can see how this comes out of here. You just dig it in on the side, and now you can pull this out, throw it right in the garbage can. Okay? Then we're going to take this over to the dishwash station. And if I had a left hand for my glove, I would go over to the sink and wash my hands like I'm washing my hands with the gloves on to get all this oil off so that they last a very long time. I can still do that actually. Follow me over to the sink so we can make sure that's on there. All right, so I want you to just imagine that I have a left orange glove, okay? We're gonna wash our hands just like you would if you didn't have gloves on, okay? Rinse them. And then when we get done washing the machine, we're just gonna hang our gloves over the top of the machine like this and let them dry when you have a full set of gloves. Right now, Righty's just hanging out by himself, but we're gonna fix that, all right? Now we're gonna go over here and spray off all of our stuff. Is it okay to get this stuff that's in here dirty? Okay. All right, so here also, very, very simple. Spray this out. You wanna make sure the water's hot. Oil moves better when it's hot, okay? There's no reason that this should have any debris in it or on it when it goes through the wash machine. Okay, show Patrick and Ivan. Show them. Is this pretty debris free, guys? Is that how it should look every time before it goes through the dish run?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna throw it right there. Pad pan, same thing. Spray it off. Do you guys see how easy this comes off when everything's still warm?
Yeah.
It's when you let it sit forever and don't get it, it gets caked on there, and then now you need other means to scrub it off. But if you do it right after you're done with the last fryer you're gonna filter for that day or night, you just spray it right off. Okay, so I didn't have to scrub anything. Water alone got all the debris off of here, okay? Now for the actual pad pan. Same thing. Spray it out. And the hotter the water, the better. The easier the stuff is going to move off of here. If You see how I'm getting into this handle mechanism, the locking mechanism?
Yeah.
You want to get in there so you make sure you always have free rein for that handle to travel. You start running into problems when there's so much debris built up in this handle that you can't actually move the handle, all right? And then I like to, just because I like to be thorough, do it from 2 different directions to make sure that these squares are completely cleaned out on both ends, okay? And if you really want to do it right, go ahead and let these close and see what you're missing while they're opened. All right, so same thing. Open these back up, throw this in here. We're ready to go. Z-pipe, rinse it off. Everything that can come off of this machine can run through the dishwasher. That's very important to keep in mind, okay? Z-pipe can go right there. Zoom in over here. We can go ahead and undo this quick disconnect. Undo this one. I like to take the nozzle, spray that out, let any residual oil that might be in there get out, spray these connectors that quickly, throw it in here, we're ready to run this through. While that one's running through, I'm going to continue on cleaning this next pad pan out exactly the same way, put it in the same kind of rack, run it through the same kind of dishwasher, and then we let it dry overnight, okay? This hose and the wand, all right, so with these hoses, you can see in here, you get buildup inside there. This was just filtered with the very first time. There's already buildup on here, okay? So what we're gonna do is take the spray nozzle and we're gonna shoot that clean, all right? See, there's oil came out of there. You guys see that? All right, do the same thing. Put that puppy there. All right. After this goes to the dishwasher, we're going to hang it over the machine, let it dry. It'll be dry and ready to go next time you're ready to filter. But the way we run it through the machine is we put it on here like this. All right. This wand, we spray that off. Check this out. This connector in here, very important to keep that clean. If you get oil buildup on it all the time, it's going to be hard for your hoses to be able to get connected and disconnected. Same thing, put that right on there, shoot some water through it so it's clear. Throw this in here. All that goes right through the dishwasher. See how clean our stuff came out now? We let this dry somewhere, it's ready for next time we filter. Thanks for joining us, and I hope that you have a happy filtration day. Take care.